Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Nobody Makes It Out Alive. This is episode 9, which is crazy. I say that every episode though. I'm like, this is crazy when it's really not that crazy.
No, it is. It is.
Yeah, but today's episode is actually going to be more focused. It's going to be a little heavier, I feel like. More of a heavier topic, but I'm excited to get into it because I feel like I can speak from a lot of personal experience on this one.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, which by the way, special
Hey,
guest
guys.
David, he is on the producer team of the podcast. He also does some of my management stuff, which is really cool, and he's my good friend. So
Yeah. We
David to the podium.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? I'm David. So for this episode, we kind of realized that we know some of the same people and we will like spot things that nobody else talks about and we're like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and it's kind of, we just keep it on the back burner.
Yeah.
Nobody kind of talks about it because it's kind of the normal in LA, which is really sad.
Right.
Which I didn't even say the podcast episode.
Right.
We're going to be talking about the beauty standards and the effects that social media plays into it and has on social media in general and on the consumers and influencers and kind of all the above. I feel like it weighs heavily into everybody's mental health, whether you acknowledge it or not subconsciously.
Yeah, we're also going to get into just like what it's like living around influencers and constantly seeing them out and like how it actually does affect your mental health.
And some of the things we see and hear and like how it's just being so sadly normalized. It's actually really scary. Like sometimes I'm like listening to people talk when I'm with them and I'm like
the way that like if I had the chance to take Ozempic, I can't say that I wouldn't, but the way that it's been normalized to like take diabetes medication is a little crazy.
Diabetes medication? I personally haven't hit that part of LA.
Yeah. No, like
I'm like, I don't know about all that.
like, let me slow down. No, like it's just interesting to see
diabetes medication is crazy.
No, you've heard of Ozempic now.
No. Of what?
Ozempic.
No, I
it's
haven't.
Like all like the
I'm
models.
kind of glad
and,
I
like,
haven't though. Maybe I don't need to hear
it's
about
good.
it.
It's it's
You're like,
a lot.
it's so good. I've tried it.
No, before we get into that, like, well, we will though, trust.
Yeah.
Trust.
What's funny actually is I posted on my Instagram story. I was like, hey, does anyone want to do this episode with me? And here we are alone.
I'm like, hey, me like not even swiping up. I'm like,
yeah, David didn't even swipe up. I was like, okay, David, you're doing this with me.
No, yeah, but it low-key fit really perfectly because like we'll talk about stuff that I was like, I thought only I caught that, or I thought only I was thinking about this, and Verena will bring it up or I'll bring it up, and I'm like, whoa, yeah, like yeah, that is absolutely a thing in this culture. Like it's
yeah, and the fact that it even like has a culture,
I know,
like ooh,
I know.
But we can really get into it, and we are. So we set up some questions that we're gonna kind of bounce back off each other.
Yeah. Do you want to do like a little weekly review first?
Oh yeah,
I feel like you got up to some
update. My week.
Wait, did you this week? Did you like?
Hold on, let me marinate first. I always forget what I did. I have Dory memory, I swear. I think it could have something to do with the amount of marijuana I consume. Anyways.
Also, side note, I just started smoking weed again for the first time in 5 years, so I'm also a little brain dead. So you guys have the best versions of us today.
Yeah, I definitely have some lacking brain cells. But anyways, my week.
Yeah. You're like, so?
Okay, so I recently connected with some childhood friends that I haven't talked to in like 3 years. Yeah, they were like my sisters, and we've actually gotten really close over the last 2 weeks again, and I'm super happy about it. And they're coming over to my apartment visiting this week, for the weekend. So I've just been like really focused on like hyper cleaning my apartment so it can be like perfect when they get here. And like I made a whole Google Slides itinerary for them.
You're a fucking crazy bitch.
I just love my friends, and
that's sweet.
I love hosting my friends, and I want to make sure they have like a good time this weekend. Like they're taking time out of like it's like a 3-hour drive, and like I just want to make sure they have fun. So I made like I spent like 3 hours making a Google Slides itinerary, and I'm gonna go to 99 Ranch later.
What's
after
that?
Oh my gosh, it's like an Asian market. So
slay.
I'm gonna make a seafood boil for them when I get home. Yeah,
I've been craving. I saw this like mukbang clip of this lady with like
love
gloves on, cracking a
seafood boil,
cracking a huge ass like
the crab
yes,
legs.
yes. I'm like, and the octopus tentacle is still moving, and I still want to eat it. Like I do not give a fuck, bitch.
That probably sounded crazy in the mic, Caesar. I mean, in the headphones.
Yeah, no, low-key, I respect the Google Doc-ification of it all, because I have friends come over and I'm like, let's do 9 hours of laying on our stomachs and going on TikTok, and then like you leave.
I was just scared that's what it was gonna be, because I'm so comfortable doing that on my own, you know. I was like, gosh, I want them to have fun. So my week has been a lot of like preparing for my friends to come over. I think I've done a lot. I think I've touched and done more laundry in the last 2 days than I ever have in my life. Like, every single garment in my home is clean. Everything is folded and hung. Like,
your like water bill is like $400.
I literally don't even want to wear any clothes because they're just all so like tucked away and nice. Like, I don't have any laundry to do.
Low-key, like presenting a perfect house to friends is so funny, because it's like, if only you knew, bitch.
Yeah,
like,
I don't live like this.
You know that meme where it's like, damn, bitch.
For the weekend, I do. For the weekend, I am clean girl aesthetic.
Right. You know that meme where it's like, damn, bitch, you live like this? Yes. That's literally like,
damn, bitch.
You have on like an apron, you're like, hey.
No, it's so funny. I was gonna actually like film a whole, like, I have a Hello Kitty apron, so I was gonna get home and like make a whole cinematic Hello Kitty apron cooking video. But yeah, that's honestly all I can remember this week, is being stressed about like making sure they have a good time.
Yeah. That's not a bad thing though. I think that's like really fun. And low-key, like making an itinerary makes it so exciting. Like before
I gave them like options on the itinerary too. I was like, okay, so at this time 2:30 we can do this or this. At 4 there's this and this. Like, I put my whole heart in. I even put like cute little gifs on the side. Like, I went all out. Yeah. I'm
like, anyways, so
I love my
eating
friends.
disorders. No, I'm kidding. Actually, trigger warning, eating disorders.
Yes, actually. If you are currently struggling with this and don't have the facilities or mindset to kind of hear about it, I would suggest tuning into a different episode. I would love to have you on here though and listening. I think it could be very beneficial, but of course, trigger warning to anyone who's not ready to face that or kind of listen and hear other people's experiences. I don't think this episode is for you, but I would love if you did.
Imagine pressing skip and it's like, my Hello Kitty apron, and then it cuts and it's like, so here's the trigger warning for this episode. Okay, do you want to get into it?
Yeah.
So for you personally, we'll start off heavy. Okay. Not heavy, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Have you like dealt with body image issues?
Yes.
Just in the past, like social media?
I feel like my whole life, and I've definitely dealt with, I feel like I've had body dysmorphia for as long as I can remember. Not to start off like heavy as fuck, but like, my whole life, like even as a kid, like I never really got the privilege of just enjoying, like not having the consciousness of caring about like what your body looks like. I always have. And I started social media when I was 15, and I remember being 15 years old and like I posted a dancing video with my friend in her backyard, and it was just like a silly little fun video. I was literally 15 and people were commenting like, oh, she gained a lot of weight, or like I was getting a lot of comments about my weight. And then people would just always comment on it, and I was so young and I didn't know how to deal with it, and it definitely sent me into a spiral of a lot of other things that we're gonna get into on this episode. But for as long as I can remember, I've just never really had a healthy relationship with body image, and I think I'm getting a lot closer and a lot better as I get older, and like in this current time, especially because now I've been going to the gym like consistently, but now with a purpose. It's not like,
it seems really healthy.
It's interesting because I used to be like a huge gym girl years ago, but it wasn't for the right reasons. Like I wasn't eating and like calorie.
There's being lightheaded on the treadmill is the worst.
It's crazy. I fully had like an eating disorder and was like gymming super hard, and I wasn't going to the gym for the right reasons. And now I feel like I am, and I'm eating healthy to back it up, and I'm going consistently, and it's for the sole reason of making sure I'm healthy and feel good, and not to have a picture perfect body.
The way that like I got the gym to stick for me was like the only thing I would focus on is the feeling after the gym, and I felt fucking incredible. I try
to not like focus on like, okay, how much progress am I making, because that's always my downfall, and like I tried to not like step on the weight scale.
And what's so weird about like lifting and like protein and stuff, which I'm not sure like what you do, but you can like be up 5 pounds. This is like low key eating disorder brain, but like you will look like more snatched and muscular with more weight. But the number
goes up.
And it's such a mind fuck. But and
that's just part of it, and that's why I try not to check the scale too, is because like I also get like comments now being like, oh my god, like she got so skinny, like she's so skinny, like please eat. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like
that's so uncomfortable.
Like I just think it's part of being on social media too, is people are always going to comment about your appearance, because it's just so easy for them to like log off and like not think about what they said. But as the person receiving it, like it sticks with you, and you're like, oh my God, are other people noticing that I've lost a lot of weight? Are other people thinking that I gained a lot of weight? Like, it's just a lot. And so I was going somewhere with that, and I completely forgot.
Do you keep a scale in your house?
I do.
You do? I do too, but I try to like limit my scale time, which is like...
I keep mine in the guest bathroom that I never use, so I just like don't see it. Out of sight, out of mind, but I do have it just to have.
I feel like my read on you, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you grew up like technically skinny and like not like, you know what I'm saying? I had like this time in my, we can like cut this out if it doesn't make sense. No, but I gained weight like in college, like most people do, honestly. And I don't know if you've experienced this, but after losing it, I lost like 50 pounds. The attention that I got was so different, and it didn't feel right. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited to like get hit on again and like have guys hit me up. And then they were. And I was like, nothing really changed about me except for my stomach. Like if you could talk to yourself in 6th grade and like give yourself advice, what would you say?
Oh my gosh. I would love to.
Does it make me cry, bitch?
Yeah, I'm like tearing up. I would love to hug middle school me. Like I would do anything to give that girl a hug. But I think I would truly tell her, and like this is also goes out to you guys, like any like what I wish I could say to younger me could like heavily applies to you too, because I'm sure like I feel like this younger generation is way more involved with social media than I was, and I had to use social media at a young age. Like I think I got Instagram in like 4th, 5th grade.
Damn.
Yeah, and like Twitter, it was bad.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. I got it behind my parents'
I'm not judging you, but that is like...
Yeah, no, it's bad. Yeah. No, fully judged.
Yeah. Honestly. No, that would like melt my brain.
It did. And I think I would just tell her, like, you are literally a child. Like, I know you think you're all big and mighty and like you're growing up, but like you're not. Like, please enjoy these years and don't worry about what you look like. Just worry about having fun and being a kid and making memories.
It's wild how like sorry to cut you off, but like on a certain day I'm like, damn, I'm so bloated, and like that's the only thing I can think about. But then looking back on that day, I'm like, oh, but I was happy and like I was having fun. I was not remembering that I was bloated on that day.
Yes, and sometimes I look back at pictures of times where I hated my body and I was like, wow, I actually look really good. Yeah, and I was like, oh, I wish I could just go back and love that time myself. And I would also tell her, like, do not compare yourself to the social media girlies at all, because now I'm a social media girly and I post things that don't look like me in real life, but it's all, and I can fully acknowledge that, and I feel guilty sometimes, but it's all about angles, and I just knowing your angles.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, like all these social media girls you see, like, I trust me, guys, they just know their angles. Like,
it's so fucking true.
Exactly. Like, did she get a BBL? No, I just know my angles. Like, that's what I mean by, like, do not believe social media. We are all going to post the pictures that we look best in. We are all going to look our best for social media, because that's what we want to be perceived as. And something that actually, like, crushed my spirit the other day was I posted a picture at the gym, and I felt really good in that picture. Like, I was like, damn, like, I look good. I posted it, and someone slid up and said, and it literally broke my heart, because I used to, like, think this way about social media people. She said, I just ate a taco or a burrito. I just ate a burrito, and I feel so shitty about myself. I'm never going to look like this. And I felt literally like shit, and I deleted my picture, because I was like, I don't want anybody else to feel like this. But it's also, there's a line where people, how people feel shouldn't really be my responsibility.
Well, it's not.
Yeah, but I just felt really guilty, and I was like, wow, like, I don't look like this all the time, you know? Like, I'm at the gym, I just got to pump in, like, I look good because I'm actively working out, like, right now, but maybe in 30 minutes, like, I'm not going to look this snatched because of the pump, you know? Like, like, I don't know, I just...
Yeah, it's really sad, like, seeing people think like that, because you know in your heart, like, that isn't your fault or honestly your problem, but because, like, you care, like, it's good that you're tending to those sort of things, but it's just so, like, tricky to, like, exist on the internet as a woman and not try to offend anybody.
Yes, existing as a woman is just hard.
Like, I can't speak on that, but, like, I've witnessed a decent amount.
I know, it's so sad, and I used to be that person of, like, comparing myself to, like, social media models, and I'd be like, oh, fuck, like, I'm never gonna look like that. But it's like, girl, like, the people that you're comparing yourself to also, like, compare themselves to other people. And I think that's something that we all have to realize is I don't think anybody is ever truly, like, happy with what they
how
have.
They look.
Yeah. And it's just, like, this toxic cycle, this ongoing circle of like comparing yourself, and you have to break it. Like you have to be the one to discontinue that. I feel like. What do you think?
I have something a little problematic to say, but
I love a little good problematic.
Like this, I can say this for myself. Like if someone were to be like, "Oh my God, did you lose weight? You look great," I'd be like, "Yeah, thank you so much." What is your opinion on people who say that you shouldn't comment on anybody's body ever? Do you think it's okay if you know the person, you know how they react? Like,
I agree. I don't think you should ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have some of my parents' friends sometimes that are like, ugh, but it's also just like in Middle Eastern culture, like,
oh my God,
the aunts and uncles just having no filter. Like, oh my God. I have stories.
It's so hard. Like, really quick side note, it's so hard holding grace for older generations who don't know any better and still respecting and loving them, but also being like, come the fuck on, bro.
Exactly. Like so many of my dad's friends and mom's friends, like it's just creepy too. I don't know. They'll be like, oh my gosh, you lost so much weight. Like, are you eating? And it's just such out of pocket shit. And sometimes actually, like when my parents' friends have made comments, I've been like, okay, well, I've actually been struggling with that. So that wasn't very nice.
Like, you know, if you want to talk about it, like I
like,
can't stand right
down.
now.
Like,
no,
let me
actually, let's sit down because if I stand up, I'm gonna black out.
No, that was the funniest thing you ever said.
Like, let's sit down, bitch. Like,
no, because I'm seeing black and brown right now.
Right. Oh my God. And I hear ringing in both my ears. No, but.
And I'm actually going through an immense amount of hair loss.
Right. Exactly. And I lost my period. I lost it 6 months ago.
Guys, this should not be funny. We're laughing because we're relating.
We're laughing because we're fucking traumatized.
Yes, like, this is our personal experience.
Yeah, no, we
are not making fun of it.
Yeah, no, it's not funny or okay, but it's like, it is good to like break the seriousness of it and be able to laugh at it. Because it's like,
yeah.
Like, but I had a similar situation with a family member. I had a similar situation with a family member where like I wasn't out yet, and they're like, oh, like you, I don't know if this makes sense, but straight boys are treated differently than like girls. Obviously, like it's easier to like make jokes towards them because they don't care. It's like, this is my read. I don't know if this might be problematic, but one of my family members, I had put on a little bit of weight. This is back in college. And she poked my stomach and she goes, come on, Pudgy. And I was like, I had to just be like, oh yeah. Like, and the inside I was like,
I would have backhanded her.
No, right? Right? Like, and it's like, to her, it's not to be mean.
I would have done it back.
No, I know, like, twins.
I would have used her own finger to do it back. I would have grabbed it and went, oh, Pudgy.
Right, and we're twins, bitch. Like, no, but it's just
crazy.
Interesting how, like, people think that they can say certain things and, like, it's no malintent. Like, she was just being silly. And I had grown up knowing her.
Some people just don't have, like, read the room
self-awareness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like some people just don't have a filter of, like, what's right to say and what's not. And also some people don't think that that's wrong to say because that's just what they've been around their whole lives. But I think, period, it shouldn't be commented on no matter if it's family, friend, because you just don't know what the other person is silently struggling with.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just an unspoken topic. Like, just leave it be.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I personally would never make a comment about, like, oh, you look so good. Like, you lost so much weight. Right. Even though, like, my heart would be in the right place. Like, I don't know also what they went through to lose that weight. You know?
It's interesting because if it's a friend that I know is trying to lose weight and they are doing it healthily, and I, like, see them 2 weeks since the last time and they, like, look snatched, I'm like, oh, you look great. Like, your jaw's popping or, like, something like that. Like, I feel like that's okay. But if it's, like, like, I would
lost never so much weight.
Right. Yeah. Right. Like, if it was like you, like, I would never say that to you. Like, that's so inappropriate. And, like, you're, like, a friend, but not someone that I'm, like, with on a daily basis where I know exactly how you're feeling about your body. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, the conversation that we were having off camera was about LA girlies. And we are not women haters. Like, we're the last thing from a woman hater.
I support women's rights and wrongs.
And women's rights to Facetune.
Yes.
But have you, like, found yourself, like, editing a photo and you're like, oh my God, that's not me anymore. Like, who the fuck is that lady?
Okay, so I think I still Facetune, I'm not gonna lie. I like smooth my skin. I detail my makeup, like the little detail tool. I will like use it on my highlight. But I don't Facetune like I used to. But the way I used to Facetune was a mental illness.
And it is.
It is, actually. And it's like so dysphoric and like you don't even know what you look like anymore. And I definitely went through that phase where I would Facetune the fuck out of my pictures. And I was like, it doesn't even look like me anymore. I love it.
Have you ever?
It's not even me.
Have you ever like? Do you know what like Face App is?
Yeah.
Like where it's like a different face and there's like 10 different ones to choose from.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at like?
I just downloaded Face App, so I
Bitch,
can
delete.
No, I got it so I could change my hair color so I could see what I would look like.
That's fair. But have you ever like looked at someone and been like, that's
not
like
you.
face number 3? So, like that is like option number 7 with the selfie filter.
No.
I've looked at. We can bleep this name, but I've looked at, and I've been like that is the number 3 option, and I know for a fact that is like if you open the app and put the photo in the filter and scroll through, like you just chose number 3 and you posted it. Like I know that.
Crazy. That's so funny. No, but I used to go crazy manually, like manually doing it. I think this is like the only time I've like publicly admitted this, but like heavily when I was like 15, 16, 17. I used to Facetune really badly, and I used to Facetune my body, and that's where a lot of my body dysmorphia came from. And it was like I would be making my hips wider, I would be making my waist smaller, and I felt so guilty doing it and posting it because I knew that wasn't me, and I knew like people followed me and like were like, oh my gosh, goals. But I think that's also where it came
that's
from.
so hard.
Like the pressure to be like goals, you know. And like I was also still an insecure little kid, and like had previous like eating disorders and body dysmorphia before I ever came to the internet. So now it was like all these people were commenting like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty, she's so goals, and other people were commenting like, oh, she is really skinny, or like she needs to gain weight, or she should lose weight.
Right.
And so it's like I can't please you guys, and I don't want to come on here as my raw authentic self, so I'm gonna Facetune myself to how I would love to look like and see what the feedback is. And I had to train myself. It was literally such a mental battle, and it sounds so bad. And this is like, I'm glad that I can talk about it now and be so open about it, because I literally had to train myself to like, it got so bad, guys, where I would post a picture without Facetuning at all, and I would literally have to turn my phone off, and I would like cry about it.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yes, but now I can like post a picture without Facetuning and feel so good because I just look so good in the picture. But it took like a lot of training to break myself out of that heavy Facetune era. Yeah,
this is a really good like testimonial, because people are so quick to demonize like influencers for editing, as am I, bitch. Like I do it all the time. I'm like, that is not her. That is not what she looks like in person. But you don't know what made them do that.
Yeah, like I used to be so insecure, and that was my cause for doing it. And obviously as the years have gone by, I've gained a lot of confidence. I'm honest, like I'm so confident now, and I can fully say that I love who I am, I love what I look like, and I can stand in my own skin and be so like content with it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I don't have to like change the way I look for social media. I can feel so confident with posting an unedited picture now, and I just feel like younger me would be so proud of that, because before, I would literally have mental breakdowns over it when I was like 16. Yeah. And that's so bad because I was 16. Right. Like, you're such a baby, and like I wish I could go back in time and be like, it's okay. Like, you don't stop putting so much pressure on yourself. And I'm sure if I would have posted those pictures on Facetuned, I would have gotten the same amount of love that I did. Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's nice now to get that same amount of love still without editing. Yeah.
Do you like...
I had to retrain my brain like a dog.
Yeah. But you're like Pavloving yourself. Yeah. You don't know what that means, do you?
No. Me like, yes. I just smile and nod.
No, it's sorry. I didn't mean to sound like a bitch, but no, it's just like so I probably actually am explaining this completely wrong, but it was like these like there were these dogs in an experiment. I'll say this really quickly. They'd like ring a bell and there'd be food, and the dogs like associated the bell with the food. So when they heard the bell, they'd be like you're like associating one thing with another. So like when you like do something, like you can retrain your brain. That made no fucking sense, bitch.
But not really, but like I kind of am catching your drift.
It's just like retraining a brain. Yeah.
Me having no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, yes, yeah, so true.
No, me like, yeah. No, what was the wait, I had something else to say. Fuck, what was it?
Did you ever Facetune?
I feel like it's different for boys because it's like there's not like as much of a body to like edit. Like I'm not trying to like make myself look like I have a BBL or like boobs. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
But to be completely transparent with you guys before we move on, I do still Facetune. I don't have perfect skin. What you see on Instagram, I Facetune that. I smoothed my skin out. I photoshopped a few blemishes, you know? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's wrong of me, but I still do it. And I'm completely, I have no shame saying it. I know a lot of other people do too, so I don't know. I feel like a lot. It's like normal now. It's not like I'm doing anything crazy. I'm not changing like the way I look. I'm not changing my face.
It's so normalized. Like you can't unlearn everything.
Yes,
I feel like used
to know. Me making the progress of not face tuning like crazy like I did before is like enough. All I do now, I don't let myself go past smooth and detail.
Yeah, right. When you go to the lips and you have like different colored eyes from like Facetune, it's like okay, girl, like come on now. But no, it's also like as I've sort of found my own confidence. Like, I didn't realize how unhappy I was with myself until I, like, started going to the gym, like, in a healthy way. And then, like, I felt better. And I was like, it's not that I felt better because I look like this. It's because, like, I'm releasing endorphins. Like, I just feel better from working out.
I think it's a big part of it, too, is, like, putting the clothes on, getting in the car, driving there, going and doing it. Like that's actually doing it.
Yeah, the hardest part is leaving.
Even if you don't go like hard at the gym, even if you're not doing like a crazy like Chloe Tings workout, like
it really is like as long as you were just going consistently, you can work out 15 minutes a day for a week. That's better than going once for an hour.
Yeah, and I feel like it's not at some point. I feel like for me now, it's not even about like working out my body. I think it's more of like a mental thing for me now that genuinely has put me in a healthier mindset. Just like I feel like I'm doing something right with my life.
Yeah, like even with all the confidence that comes with that, I know you still have these because I fucking do in a crazy way. But do you ever have like a one-off day, like once a week, where you just have a fucking ugly day? It's like I'm like I had salt yesterday, like I'm bloated, like my hair looks
and oily and
and there's no reason for it. It's just like okay, like but I feel like nowadays I'm able to accept that and be like okay, like it's okay, like it's just one day, like I don't need to freak out, but
sometimes I still freak out.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this is a good transition into beauty standards in general. Because there's a conversation around it that I honestly find so interesting and I want to hear your take on it. So, you know how people are like reversing their BBLs and like getting skinny as fuck and like Kylie Jenner like does not have a BBL anymore. What do you think like makes the beauty standard change? Like why was it like 2016 Fashion Nova? Like why is that so out and why is like skinny girl that does cocaine like in right now?
Honestly, I don't know, and I think about that all the time too, and I think that's why it's such an important part of not comparing yourself is because what you think could be ugly about you now could be the next trend, you know? And actually, I have a very close experience with this. Is growing up, my biggest insecurity was my lips. I fucking hated my lips. I literally I literally used to go home and Google, David. I would be like, how to make your lips smaller. I was genuinely insecure about it. And I would get made fun of for it in middle school all the time. Like, people would genuinely bully me because I remember me and my friend had a big fight. And then we turned into, like, hating each other. And she was like, well, that's why your lips are too big for your face, bitch. And I was like
oh, I would be so pissed.
Yeah, and then I went through a really bad breakup in middle school.
Girl, what does that mean?
And then he posted, he was like, that bitch has horse lips. And I was like, oh! Yeah, and so growing up, like, I was just so insecure about my lips and nothing could change it. And then I started doing social media and getting into makeup, and I realized, like, I love my lips with, like, a good red lipstick. I love my lips with, like, a good lip liner and clear gloss. Like, and then big lips and lip injections and, like, the Kylie Jenner lip challenge became so big. And I was like, wait, I'm kind of slaying.
Yeah, no, speaking of, I feel like there was, like, a time in the universe where at the exact same time that you were, like, Googling how to make your lips smaller, I was, like, sucking on a shot glass, like praying to God. I'm like, just an upper lip, please, please.
Guys, in middle school, I remember this so vividly, and I literally went home crying. I'm, like, trauma dumping. This girl, oh, my gosh, she's an influencer now, actually. We went to middle school together.
Oh, wait, who's her name?
Bleep this.
Right, I fucking hate that bitch. She was so mean to me.
She was really mean to me in middle school. She's like fucking huge now.
Yeah, she like like asked if they could take me to her birthday party and she said, I don't want any weird people there.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
But, she started a rumor about me in 7th grade that I had gotten lip injections, and I was like 12. And I remember a teacher pulling me aside, like outside of class, like we were fully in a lesson, and like she was like, oh wait, Verena, can I talk to you for a second? And like everyone was like, ooh. And I was like, okay. And I was so scared because I was like the really good kid that never got in trouble and like never got pulled out to talk. And I was like, what am I getting in trouble for right now? And she goes, I just wanted to talk to you, make sure everything was okay. I heard some rumors that you had gotten lip injections and I just want to make sure that's not true. And I was like, I'm Middle Eastern. Like, my parents would stab me before letting a needle stab my lip. Like,
shoot you, bitch. Like, they would shoot you.
Yeah, like, I'm fully 12 years old. I don't even think that's legal. Like, I
also,
have no...
how fucking inappropriate.
Yeah, that is highly inappropriate.
Like,
yeah. Like, she wanted the tea. Like, do you have lip injections?
Yeah. She'd be like, who's your surgeon, bitch? Like, asking your 12-year-old.
And I just remember going home that day and, like, crying to my mom, being like, I fucking hate my lips. I want plastic surgery. Like, and I would kill for my lips now. I love my lips.
Have you ever, like, gotten anything done?
No, I haven't.
Wow.
I want to, though.
I do too. I just want jaw filler.
I want jaw filler. That's what I want too.
You have such a good jawline.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, you do.
Yeah, I don't think I would. I want to, but I'm not going to let myself because I think it's my own battles I need to fight, and I don't want to let insecurities and social media pressure me into getting work done. Yeah, I don't have any, and I'm trying not to.
Same. I like did this one thing. I got a lip thread, which
what's that?
So this is so embarrassing. So I like my bottom lip, but like my upper lip, I wish it could be a little bigger. I really don't care anymore. I got this thread where you're gonna like die. They put a needle into your upper lip with a barb thread. It's like kind of like barbed wire, and they numb your lip first, and they loop it through 3 times on each side. And I didn't eat that day just because like it was early in the morning, and I was like ready to pass out. I was like seeing stars. It was so painful. I look at the after picture. It's the exact fucking same. And I'm like so pissed because I'm like, this is such a testament to the fact that like beauty is fucking pain, and like this didn't even work, bitch. Like,
wait, so the needle like the wire like stays in your lip?
Yeah, it dissolves after a while. It's been like 3 years, so it's gone. But
wow.
After this, I'll show you the before and after picture. It's so embarrassing. It's literally the same thing, just my lips kind of red.
I literally would have asked for my money back, girl.
Yeah, I was pissed.
Can I take a bathroom break because I'm about to piss my pants?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay, we'll be right back, guys. My bladder is throbbing. Okay, so we are back from the bathroom break. We're both peed out.
We like are shaking off of Red Bull and Celsius.
Yeah, no, actually, I have not eaten today, and I'm like running off coffee and Red Bull.
I was like, speaking of eating.
Oh, that is not healthy, actually. Oh, maybe I still have some things to unpack.
No, but sometimes you're just busy as fucking like you don't eat. Like
that is true. I have been really busy since the moment I woke up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. So that wasn't coming from like eating.
No, something that I was like really excited to ask you about, because I don't know if you've talked about it. It's just like, as a Middle Eastern girl, the beauty standard with body hair and like having to be bald. Like, what is up with that?
I'm hairy as fuck.
Right.
I am a full chupacabra and I have no shame. Here's the thing though, is I keep flip-flopping back and forth between just let it be natural. It's okay to like have body hair, and like you don't need to shave every time you want to wear shorts or skirt or something like that. But I'm gonna be so truthful with you, is I don't feel as confident when I have body hair showing. And I hate that I feel that way. And for the longest time, I did grow out my armpit hair and like showed it, and like everyone talked shit about me for it. And like, but at the same time, like it was very liberating to be like, haha, fuck you.
Yeah,
like I know this pisses you off, but at the same time, I was like, I would feel a lot cuter in this tank top if my armpits didn't have hair.
Right.
And I hate that I feel that way, because body hair is so not like, this is what a natural body looks like, bitch. Like,
do you think like that was like learned, or do you think people naturally, if no one was ever like you need to shave, would feel better without body hair, or do you think that's something that's learned?
I think it's definitely learned, because men are praised for it.
Yeah.
And I think that like what if we were praised for it as women, you know? But that's just not the case. And that also goes to the conversation of like, have you heard of like people talking about like, okay, to the men that don't like their women hairless, you know, like, is that pedophilic?
Right. And you know what's crazy? When people ask stuff like that, my mind immediately is like, oh, shut up. But then if you actually think about it, it's like,
like, why do you want your grown woman to have zero hair on her body? You know, like, it's natural, it's normal. And I think a lot of people take it back to hygiene, but it's like, you can be the most hygienic person in the world and still have armpit hair and still have leg hair. This was actually progress for me. Is the last episode we filmed, I was wearing a skirt and my legs were really hairy, and I was like, you know what, I don't have the time to shave. I really want to wear this outfit, and I'm just gonna wear it. And I don't think I've shown my hairy legs.
And your legs were warm
in a long time, and my legs were warm and coated. Yes, I was not cold in the office for once. But I noticed like, if one of you guys was like glancing down, I'd be like, oh my god, I hope they're not looking at my leg hair. But I was like, bitch, relax. Like, it's really not that serious. But I do wish that I felt more confident when I didn't shave too. And I don't know. I wish I could be like an advocate, like, yeah, like fuck that, like I rep body hair, but like I feel like it would be fake of me to say that.
Seeing people post, this is like a little bit of a hot take, but seeing people post that and are really aggressive about it. Like, have you ever seen a TikTok where they're like, "Are you mad at this?" and like do slam poetry? I'm like, I love you and I love the intention, but like you're taking it. Oh,
I'm like snaps.
Right. Yeah, I'm like go off, but yeah. This like just really quick. Another thing about beauty standards that we can tie in really quick is like in old England, the beauty standard for women was to be really chubby and super pale because it showed that you didn't have to work. Like you didn't have to go out and like work outside and do labor and like have the sun beat down on you. And like like royal people were just like chubbier and like super pale because they were just inside all day. And it's interesting that now it's like tan and skinny.
And I remember learning in history class, I am really bad at geography, and I don't remember where they used to like carve their heels or like train their
bind their feet.
Yes, that's the word. Yeah, and
my grandma did that.
Crazy,
it's insane.
to me. Yeah,
literally insane.
Like the amount of like physical pain that they would go through.
Yeah,
and now people like bleach their teeth and get tans.
Right.
And
it's like, shouldn't we intuitively as a species be like, it hurts to do these things?
Yeah, maybe
like,
we shouldn't.
Waxing vagina hair, like if you actually think about that, that sounds like the most painful.
Okay, that is the only way I remove my coochie hair. And let me tell you, it is so painful. And every time I'm on that bed getting my coochie wax, butterfly legs spread open. Yeah. Like, first of all, it is a little bit uncomfortable, like having someone inspecting my coochie like that. Number two, it is so painful. It is. Honestly, getting a Brazilian is more painful to me than any tattoo I've ever gotten. Every time I get one, my teeth go numb. Like, I'm literally seeing, like, stars in black and white. And, like, but it's the only way.
And then how come after you're like...
Yeah, I know. I'm like...
You're like, hey, what's up?
Like, who wants to see my bald coochie?
You're like, I miss you. Fuck.
What are you doing?
No, literally gets vagina wax, misses their ex. Like...
I'm like, I don't know about all that. Getting my coochie wax has never made me miss my ex. But yeah, so I've literally had that thought process where I'm like laying down on the table and I'm like, why am I doing this? Right. Like, why am I going through this much of immense pain to have like no hair on my coochie, where it's like totally normal and fine to have hair on my coochie? But I don't know. It does make me feel more confident. I do like to maintain that. And I'm just, why? Like, why can't I feel as confident not getting my coochie wax?
Have you ever had a guy like be weird about body hair?
No.
Yeah, I feel like you know how to pick them. Like, well,
I also don't know about all that.
Correction, bitch, you don't know how to pick them, and it would not surprise me if one of your exes was like, shave.
Actually, I haven't had like a guy like not want to do anything because I had body hair, but one of my exes actually has made a comment of like, I prefer you to shave.
Like, you shave too. You shave too. Yeah. I have to fucking wax, you wax. Like,
yeah, honestly. Let's go get our assholes waxed together and then tell me how you feel.
Right. After he's like, wait.
He's like, wait.
He's like, hold on.
No, but yeah, unrelated, but I refuse to shave any of my hair. I always get everything waxed just because of the way it grows back.
Yeah, it grows back strong as fuck.
Yeah. To all my girls, I do suggest Brazilians instead of shaving because it grows back so much slower. And I feel like over the course, it gets less painful and less hair, especially as a Middle Eastern girly. Waxing is my hack. Like, it stays away for a long time, and it's like, it grows back way thinner. Also, me fully talking about my pubic hair on my podcast right now is crazy.
I'm like, oh, we have like the 10-minute pubic hair section after this. No, but like also like please don't like shave your arms. Like, I feel bad for girls that like have to shave their
I haven't
arms.
shaved my arms in like a year.
Did you do that?
My sisters used to do that. In middle school, yeah. I used to be so insecure about it. But yeah. I'm like, yeah. But sometimes I like to just like certain parts of my arms because I feel like it makes my tattoos look better.
Yeah, and like if you put on like baby oil or like lotion, it shines. Wait, actually that reminds me, a brand reached out to you that literally like it's like ointment for tattoos and it looks so like shiny after. So we'll talk about that after.
I'm like, do they pay good?
I don't really know, bitch.
So we're gonna move on to the next segment of the podcast, which is
voicemails.
Yeah. So as always, I had you guys call in and leave voicemails about like kind of beauty standards and body image and any advice you guys needed or commentary you kind of just wanted to add. In the future, if you do want to be featured on the podcast, you can call in and leave a voicemail at 323-989-1746. I would love if you guys started leaving your names and ages too, just so it's kind of easier to give advice, because I feel like I wouldn't give the same advice that I would give to like maybe like a 14-year-old to like a 23-year-old, you know?
Right.
So I feel like that would be really helpful for us. And yeah, also for my international listeners, you can text the number since you can't call, or I think it's like a big fee to call, huh? Something like that. I don't know, but you can text. Yeah.
I just like blacked out. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Let's get into the first voicemail.
Cool.
Hi, Farina. I've been a huge fan for such a long time. I'm 20 years old, and I was wondering what your opinion on with like editing photos. Basically, like I know a lot of people take off like acne or anything, or just edit their photos in any way. I wanted to know like what your opinion was on that, and like if you think that could be considered empowerment in any way, or if that shouldn't be a thing at all. All right, thank you so much. Bye.
Hi, thank you for calling in. I appreciate you for saying that you've been a big fan. So I feel like we kind of touched on this, but I'm gonna kind of like reiterate a little bit, like.
Yeah. Also, the empowerment thing is interesting.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I have like a loogie. I think it's perfectly okay, honestly, to remove blemishes, acne, stuff like that. I fully do it, and I will take full accountability. Sometimes I just really like a picture of myself, and I'm like, wow, if that fucking mountain on my forehead wasn't there, this would be amazing, beautiful, stellar. But it's not.
Yeah. Also, they like retouch like high school pictures.
Yeah.
Like, it's like normal.
Yeah. I think when it starts to become too much is when you're changing your face, when you're changing like actually your appearance, you know, when it starts to become not you, when you're changing your features, you know. And like I said before, I used to be a big victim to that. Not anymore, thankfully. Yeah. But I don't know. What's your take? I think everybody like low key smooths their pictures.
Yeah, I feel like if it was a perfect world and there was no like issues with body or beauty image, no one would obviously feel the need to do that. And like inherently, it's really dumb because it's just like that's how you look. Like that's how you look. Post it. But because of the way that we've been taught and like the way it's like ingrained in us, like. It is what it fucking is.
Yeah, and it's sad. Like, sometimes I still feel guilty when, like, people comment, like, your skin is so clear. I'm like, no, it's not. Yeah. If only you knew, girl. But, I mean, I don't do it for every picture, you know?
Yeah, like a story post.
Yeah, like, no, I don't edit my stories.
Yeah,
that's like
psychotic.
OD. That's like doing way too much. But, yeah, like, as far as, like, posting selfies, like, I don't do it for every single one. But, oh, my God. Actually, I feel like this isn't really part of the question, but something that has made me very dysphoric and I think is so similar to face tuning and editing is the damn Instagram filters where they change your face. I am a huge victim to that, and sometimes I don't post stories without a filter. So like one of those. Yeah, it's so good.
I'm like, I'm bronzing and my cheekbones are really high.
And then the filter automatically comes off, and I get like a rude awakening, like a
jump scare bitch.
Oh, yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. I personally feel like those are worse than editing your pictures. Yeah.
You need to like make a private story that's like Verena unfiltered. It's you being like, hey, like,
hi, how y'all doing? I don't edit anything crazy. To people that do, I don't blame them because that used to be me, and like I know it's coming out of a place of insecurity and having people like so many eyes watching you, and you know I feel like it's a bigger thing with influencers, especially. Like I definitely get where they're coming from, where they feel the need to do it, but I don't know, honestly. I don't care enough about what other people are doing. Like, if that's what makes you feel more confident, if you need to, like, edit your photos, but I don't give a fuck. Like, by all means.
Yeah, it doesn't affect me. And the people who are judging you are also insecure. Like, anytime that I've judged somebody else for doing their photos like that, it's stemming from my own insecurity.
Exactly. And but it's also, like, to the point where, like, okay, is this person doing too much where they're setting unrealistic standards?
And it's, like,
But it's also not my call to make. Like, who am I? The fucking
social
media police? Like, Facetune police? Like,
the Facebook police. Wait, what's the Pinterest police, bitch?
Pinterest police. Yeah. I don't know. I think whatever makes someone happy isn't necessarily wrong. Whatever makes someone feel more confident isn't necessarily wrong. I think there's definitely a limit and a boundary of how much you should be doing it, but I don't see no harm in removing a pimple.
Yeah, it's different with platforms too. Like, you do have a responsibility to like set some sort of.
And that is why I felt so guilty about face tuning in the past so heavily, and like why I would have to like literally retrain my brain, and that's why I would literally cry about it, because I would feel so guilty that I'm setting these unrealistic images. And I go back and look at those pictures now, and I literally did that doesn't even look like me. Like, that was not me. And it was so obvious that I edited them too. Like, if you I think I archived them for the most part, like all the heavily edited ones.
That's good. That's gross.
Yeah, it took a lot. Yeah, I was on my Instagram one day and I was like, this is not authentic to me.
Yeah, I feel like that's the realization that it's not these people's responsibility to not do it, but they have the power to make people feel good about themselves and show themselves authentically. So if like you're not using that power for good, then it's like a moral dilemma. Yeah. But yeah.
I agree. Cool. Okay. On to the next voicemail. I hope that answered your question a bit. Love you. Mwah.
Hi, Marina. Okay, so first I want to say I admire your confidence so much, and your videos like actually help me like gain confidence and like make me feel good. So thank you for that. Like ever since early high school. But yeah, I wanted to know if like being in the public eye made you feel like you had to change something about yourself, because I know in the public eye people like Photoshop, like influencers do, like they don't put out like their real selves, you know. So if that ever had like a toll on you. And also, oh my god, I have hip dips, and I've always been so like insecure about that, because not a lot of people have that, you know, like, or they do and they don't put that out there. So like, how does something like that help me gain confidence, you know? Yeah, thank you.
Oh, this makes me sad because you sound pretty young. First of all, I love you too. Thank you for calling in. The hip dips broke me because you sound young and I have hip dips, and I used to be so severely insecure about my hip dips when I was younger. Now I'm not, because I feel like as I get older and like I see other beautiful people with my body type and they look really good, I'm like, wow, like I'm really unbiased when it's not me. Like, you actually look really good and you can still have a really nice body with hip dips, and having hip dips doesn't necessarily mean that. Like, it's natural. So many people have hip dips, and the biggest advice I can give you for the hip dips is, girl, they are cute. You might not like it, but like I've grown to love mine, and let me tell you why. I started going to the gym. I think I'm building a little bit of a booty now. You can't tell from the front. You can't tell from the front because of my hip dips. But then I turn to the side, I turn to the back, and you're like, oh, I didn't know she was hiding all that.
Right.
You know?
Again, angles.
Yes. I think that's called side sleeper. Side sleeper build.
Yeah.
Body.
I literally have that. I know exactly. Like, when I turn to the side, I'm like,
yeah, I'm like, whoa. Yeah, I surprised myself a bit. And you don't need to look like everybody else with like BBLs to like have a nice body. And it's not even about having a nice body. Like, it's just like, don't be so mean to your body, girl. And because your body takes care of you, you know, like, not to sound like
no, it does though. But it does.
Like, your body supports you and takes care of you every day. This is the only body you're gonna have, so love it and nurture it no matter what it looks like, you know. And the best you can do is try to take care of it as best as you can, whether that be affirmations in the mirror, whether that be working out, whether that be eating better, you know.
It's literally all you can do. It's like either be upset and hate yourself or just like work with what you got. Like,
exactly.
I have to say something really controversial.
Go ahead.
And this is not reflecting on Verena, guys.
Oh god. Okay.
She took it a little too far in my opinion, but Sienna Mae Gomez, if you did one thing right, it was posting your hip dips, because I was like, yeah, she ate. Like, that one little thing, you ate that.
You ate that one little thing.
That's it, though. That's it. Yeah.
I'm not even lying. When I saw her post up with her hip dips, too, I was like, yeah, she looks good, and I have them, too. And, like,
She eventually ended up taking too far with, like, just the posting was a little crazy and whatever. That's my opinion, not Verena's, y'all. But
I have no comment on Sienna Mae. I remove myself from this conversation.
Right. But if you did one thing right, work. That's it.
Work. Slay. I wish I could give you kind of better advice for that, but I feel like that's what I have to offer from personal experience. And yeah, I'm so sorry, and I genuinely like love your hip dips, girl. They are so cute. I love my hip dips now, and yeah, the more you get older, the more you realize like people actually like really love hip dips. Like, seek them
I
out.
know, and it's really interesting because like if I had like a certain feature on me that I wasn't fond of, if I see it on somebody else but they're really confident, I associate that with the feature. I'm like that like their nose looks they have like a big like nose with a like bump in it like I do. I don't like it on myself because I'm not confident in it. But if someone else is confident in it, I'm like, they look great.
Confidence makes everything beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
Fake it till you make it, bae.
Right.
Okay. Yes. Sorry. Thank you for calling in. Love you. Okay, so that was our last voicemail. That was kind of all over the place, but I feel like we answered it pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
I
like hip dips, and she's a YouTuber now.
Yeah. But I hope we helped out. I seriously need a new line. Thanks for calling. I hope we helped. Like, girl. Okay, we get it.
You're just like, good luck.
Good luck. Good luck, Charlie.
Yeah.
Okay, but we are going to move on to the next section, which is going to be about
the girls.
The LA girlies.
The group and the gang.
The gays and the girls.
Yeah.
The girls and the gays.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess to sort of like wrap this, it's just interesting how like the physical features of someone can be so different.
And their personalities.
And their personalities are completely different. Like it's I don't care, like a t-shirt that's like social media is fake is so corny to me, like whatever. But it's so fucking fake. And we've said this a billion times.
Yeah. But then that also makes me wonder, I'm like, do people see me in person and are like, wow, that bitch does not look the same? Or do they like, or do I have certain friends that I don't know that are only part of my life for whatever they think,
right?
You know, they can get, or whatever's attainable. Like, am I stepping stool to some people and I just don't know?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've seen people like very similar to the person we were talking about that they'll be like, oh, can you like grab me like my sunglasses in my room? I'll Venmo you 500. And just like, have you seen that in person? It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's like you actually are giving them money to be your friend, like actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It is that same person we were talking
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have stories about the shit I've heard from that.
Me too.
Yeah. Anyways. Moral of the story is yes.
Yeah.
To answer the question, short and sweet, yes.
Yeah. Yes, bitch.
Yes.
So on the subject of corny fake influencers that you're like disappointed meeting, have you ever like met someone or heard someone talk openly about getting cosmetic procedures and then lying online about it? And what's your thoughts on that?
Personally, no. I feel like everyone I have in my circle are like, no,
Same.
like are pretty honest and open about it, which I love and I think is so cool.
Yeah.
So I haven't like actually like experienced that personally, but my take on it is it's hard because it's like, damn,
it goes both ways.
If you want to get something done and it will make you more confident, by all means fucking go do it. And it's not like, you shouldn't really feel like the responsibility or obligation to tell people if you don't want to, you know, like that's your business. But at the same time, it's like if you have this big platform,
you have the power to normalize.
Yes, you can normalize it. And it's also like maybe young girls that follow you are like, okay, this isn't attainable naturally. Like, this is cosmetic procedure, and I shouldn't be so worked into like, you know, like, because some people who don't share their cosmetic procedures publicly or aren't open or honest about it, like, sometimes I followed girls, and I'm like, wow, like, she has a nice-ass fucking body. Like, I wish I could look like that. And my friends are like, girl, she's had, like, 2 BBLs. Yeah. And I'm like, what? Like, I would never guess. Because they're not open about it. And I just feel like if they were, like, I think a lot of people would. It would benefit a lot of people. Yeah. But I also think it's not they don't have to.
Yeah, it's
hard.
Do you ever, like, I wonder why some of these lessons read so corny. Like, do you think that people are uncomfortable, like, acknowledging that some of these things are really true, so they make it corny, or, like, they make it, like, conspiracized, and they're like, oh, that's, like, whatever. And it's, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, people being like, oh, like, your stretch marks are, like, tiger stripes. Like, that's corny to me, but, like, do you think that people are uncomfortable, like, embracing things like that? So they're like, oh, that's corny, and just kind of, like, push it away?
Yes and no. Because, no, it is corny.
It is.
Like, it's corny as fuck, and I would never say
like
that.
Like, a shirt that's, like, social media is fake. Like, that's corny. It's true, but it's corny.
Yeah, like, it's fully corny as fuck, and, like, it would never come out of my mouth, even though I've said some corny shit
Not in 2023,
before.
at least.
Yeah. Yes and no. I don't know.
What's like the corniest thing that you can, like, think back to, like, Like, what's something that you posted that you look back on and be like, oh my God, girl, calm the fuck on?
Oh my gosh. I've said a lot of corny shit in my lifetime. Oh God. I don't know, but remember that one podcast episode where I was telling you about my middle school diary or like my high school freshman year diary where I was like, 1 million followers, zero friends. That shit's so embarrassing. Like,
or like even if it was true, it's like,
yeah, girl, like that. I know I was journaling and it was just for me, but like that should have stayed in your head.
Yeah, no, the way that like I'm mid journaling and I'm like, oh my God, like this is so fucking embarrassing.
We're gonna move into like a little bit more lighthearted section, the solutions. You know, problem and solutions. So this is the solutions.
Yeah.
We're gonna kind of talk about more of like how to keep confidence and gain confidence and build it through all of these trials and tribulations, I would call.
We're like, now that we've done the hate crime section and the eating disorder section, we're going to get into loving yourself, girl. So you have an entire episode about healing your inner child and connecting with your inner child. And do you think that like doing that can help you love yourself currently? Or do you think that it just like fixes things in the past?
No, I think it fixes things currently and in the past. And I'm actually really glad that this is a question because
yeah, you're really passionate about.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Like, I fully.
My body image issues and eating disorder started when I was really young, like 4th grade. And maybe the trauma dumping isn't over. I would fully like
the first time I cried.
I would fully like skip meals and throw up meals like in elementary school.
What?
Like in the elementary school bathroom. Yeah. Like I started off at a really young age and it's really unhealthy. And so now when I catch myself being so mean to myself about my body, like I like try to remind myself of that like little girl who was going through it. And I'm like, girl, eat your damn food. Like
eat the Dino Nuggets.
Get an extra meal in if you can. Right. Like even if I'm not like super hungry, like sometimes I'll catch myself like not eating for the whole day. And it's not even because I'm trying to. It's just like what my body's used to at this point. Like skipping meals for so long is like I forget to eat and like have a normal eating schedule. So when I'm mean to myself over my body now, or I have body image issues now, I just like think of like that time and I'm like, she deserved to love her body. Like she was just a kid and I deserve to love my body now. And like, it's no different of me being like 5 years old, you know, like, like all versions of myself deserve to be loved to their full capacity by me. And if I can look back in the past and like think of a time when I was so insecure and be like, oh, like she was so cute and she deserves so much love, I can think of myself like that now. And in a way, like being more accepting to my body now and like kind of posting pictures of my body now makes me feel better to my younger self, because it's like what she wished she could do but could never do. Yeah. Even like my style, like wearing certain things like that I would never wear in the past. It's just like healing in a way.
So it's also like interesting that you said that about like throwing up your food and stuff in elementary school. First of all, I'm so sorry. That's okay. Sorry to trauma dump. No, because I like can fully relate to that. Like I've definitely like done that myself. And it's really weird because here so many people have like normalized ED, like that they're like it. I feel like it almost doesn't negatively affect them. Like I feel like it's so normal that like it does negatively affect them. Like don't get me wrong, but like mentally they actually have gotten used to it and like they don't realize how bad it is. And I almost felt like a sense of community in that, and I felt way more okay like doing certain things because everyone that I knew,
you're all of you guys are validating it because it's your normal.
It's so weird.
Yeah, and oh god, ED social media, ED talk,
girl, ED Twitter,
ED Twitter.
Never go on that, y'all.
Hell,
yeah,
is hell.
Yeah,
and I think should be banned.
Yeah, even out of curiosity, like do not search that up. It's so easy to get sucked into.
Please don't, like for the sake of yourself. And oh god, I don't want to like okay I'll get into it if you insist. Growing up in that time of my life, like elementary school, middle school, my favorite YouTuber and streamer was Eugenia Cooney. I loved her.
Was she like always?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I always wanted to look like her, and it was so unhealthy. And I remember, I talked about this on the episode with Jordan, was I remember in like 5th or 6th grade, I remember going to VidCon specifically just to meet her. And there's a picture out there of me in 5th grade wearing Joey Graceffa merch with a picture of Eugenia Cooney somewhere in VidCon. And I would compare myself to her all the time. And she you know, not to comment on somebody else's body.
Well, she's clearly very sick.
Yes, like she has an eating disorder, and I think like growing up and like idolizing her so much, like that fucked me up in the head until I got older and I realized like that is not a beauty standard. Like she has an eating disorder and it sent me into having an eating disorder because I wanted to look like her so bad. And not that, no shade to her at all. It's not her responsibility. It's just me being so young and that's what I was consuming.
The media you consumed.
Yeah.
That was the only thing you were consuming.
That was the only thing I was consuming. Is crazy. You are so good at ED jokes. Like, okay. I have not laughed this hard at so many things.
No, because it's good to laugh. Because, like,
it is good to laugh.
Like, if you, like, do struggle with an ED, I'm so sorry. But, like, you know what it's like when you're alone sobbing because you can't stop doing something.
Exactly.
It's good to laugh.
And I think me and David can both laugh at it because we've both been through it. And I think we're both people that laugh at our trauma.
Yeah.
Like, that's how we cope. And I'm sorry if it offends any of you guys. This is just genuinely how I cope. And so I guess I'm not sorry because I am speaking on my own experience. And I can laugh about it.
Yeah.
It's my experience.
We're allowed to.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that had a huge role to play into it. So I just wish I could love and nurture my inner child and tell her like, yo, like just be a kid. Eat all the foods in the world that you want to eat, everything your little heart desires, and don't feel guilty about eating. And God, it makes me so sad to like think back to those times where like I would go like throw up what I just ate because I wanted to look like Eugenia Cooney. Like,
but yeah, it's just interesting like how we can use media to like completely envelop ourselves in an eating disorder, and it's still not the content creator's fault.
Yeah, and that's why earlier when I was saying I got that DM of like that girl sliding up on my gym picture that I felt really good in and being like, oh, I just had a burrito, I'll never look like this, like I hate myself. Like it reminded me of when I was little and looking up to Eugenia Cooney thinking like, oh, I'll never look like that. And I hope I'm so thankful that I did never look like that and I never let myself get to that point. And I really hope she's doing well and like actively working on it, on treatment and stuff. But it's none of my business. I don't want to talk about anybody else's issues, but that just like that DM I got just reminded me of like when I was little and like I would look at people like, oh, I can never look like that. And you truly don't know what the people on the other side of the screen are facing. When I was little, I didn't even know that I had an eating disorder because I didn't know what it meant.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, and I didn't know that Eugenia Cooney had an eating disorder because I also didn't really know it was a thing. Like I thought that was just how it looked like.
It's so crazy looking at these people and be like, they're so happy.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, they're not. You don't know.
Yeah. Social media is just so crazy, and inner child healing is crazy. There's so many doorways that we can
I know. It's just insane how many perspectives there are. Like being able to like defend somebody who Facetunes that has 10 million followers, but also be like, that's not okay. Like, because they're both true.
They are both. And I could genuinely see both perspectives and empathize with both sides.
Yeah, it really is all about empathy at the end of the day. Like that, like all we can do is just like, you have what you have, just like either be upset and hate yourself, or you can actually like choose to get better. Yeah. Which is really hard to choose, but
it is. But once you commit to the process and like actually put your whole into it, like it gets easy, and it's with time, like you will get there, bae.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking about how like certain things can sound really corny, like a t-shirt that's like social media is fake, and like how looking in the mirror and be like, I am beautiful feels so fucking weird in the beginning. But how has like your practice of affirmations sort of changed your life?
Okay, so I have a specific mirror in my room that has affirmations written down on it. And
me too, in red expo marker.
Oh, mine's in black.
Work.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Like, just so you know, it's red.
Okay, but this is gonna sound so fucking corny, but like I think anything about affirmations is gonna sound corny. It's just bound to. But I can pinpoint the start of my life where I started doing affirmations, and it was a corny ass Tumblr post. I was in like 7th grade, and it was this Tumblr post talking about stop comparing yourself, blah, blah, blah. Like the line that I very vividly remember changing my life was,
it's like a Melanie Martinez lyric.
It was, girl, go put on that red lipstick and tell yourself you're beautiful. guys,
would you like repeat that to yourself?
No, this was also like the time of life where everyone was like obsessed with mustaches and like it was like mustache core. Like, so I did exactly that. I went and put on my red lipstick and went in the mirror and I was like, "You're beautiful." And from then on, it's
it worked. Yeah, that's the thing.
It worked. No, genuinely, and I just remember reading that and being like, "You're so right, anonymous Tumblr girl. Like, why can't I put on my red lipstick and tell myself I'm beautiful?" And so I started practicing affirmations at a really young age, and I think it really helped me shift my mindset and perspective when it comes to negative thoughts and negative thinking. And as corny as it is, I love my affirmations, and I've had like friends and ex relationships in the past tell me like, "That's so fucking corny and weird that you do that," and like it made me feel like shit about it for a while. But it's always worked for me, and whatever works for you, and even if it doesn't work for you, something else could work for you. But
even if I don't like believe it, it makes me feel better.
I agree. Yeah, it's just the time taking out of your day just to be nice to yourself for a little bit. Yeah. So I have the specific mirror in my room, and it says affirmations on it,
and it says gloss those lips and strut, bitch. Like
it says, "Stay super freaky, have great vagina, love you." No, I'm kidding. Like, that is actually my first affirmation of the day.
It says, "I hold the control like the gamer." Like,
it says, "He said he keep me safe like a banker."
Right. Ice Spice just rolled over in her bed. She was like, Ice Spice just woke up with like a chest pain.
I think it depends on the day and what I have set up for myself for the day of what my affirmations usually are. So usually on like filming days, podcast days, I look in the mirror and I go, "I am confident. I can speak well. I love myself. I have good advice to give. I can speak eloquently."
No, you can't, bitch.
That was the worst part to mess up on.
You're like, "I can speak good."
I'm ending the podcast here, actually. Yeah, but I think my affirmations are more tailored to what I'm doing for the day. If I have a date that I'm going on, I'm like, okay, I'm like, sexy. I feel beautiful. I am that bitch. I am the prize. Yes, I deserve this. I am the prize. It just really depends on the day and like what I have set up for myself.
Really, like, quick tip for whoever's watching, and also I feel like you would love this, but if I'm like not feeling well about myself and I have something to do that day and I'm like nervous about it, I will sit there for like 2 minutes and just like in my head envision it going perfectly. It probably won't go perfectly, but I will envision that and I just hold that image in my head and I'm like, "Oh, that would be nice if that would happen." Like, I'm just gonna sit with that. I'm gonna resonate with that.
I love that though, because I feel like people always envision the worst outcome,
and then it makes you anxious before anything even happens, and it's never that bad.
Yeah, it's never that serious.
It's never that fucking. That is the best realization. Hitting a blunt and being like, "Oh, why the fuck was I tripping out?" Like.
It's sad. I also feel like I'm very thankful for the platform I have, because if I didn't have the motivation to make myself healthy, not only for me, but for the younger girls watching, I think I would still be in that unhealthy mindset and body, because I'm not gonna lie, a big part of wanting to get healthy was because like I felt so guilty posting pictures like that and people commenting like, "Oh, she looks so good," and like DMs that I used to get or still get of like,
"That's really good, Verena." Nobody, like, not a lot of people with platforms would care or even think about that.
Thank you. I just feel so guilty like portraying something that's not real, and like
I think that's valid,
especially knowing like being the little girl that used to look up to Eugenia Cooney. I know there's some girls out there that view me the same way, which is so scary to me, but also so flattering at the same time.
I know, like, I don't know, and it feels good, but it's also guilty, and it's
so I want to be like as authentic and healthy as I can be of what I'm portraying, and like if it's not, then I can't, like, I don't know, like I feel just wrong and kind of icky and disgusting with myself,
right?
Because I think back to my inner child and Eugenia Cooney. With that being said, like, I'm glad we got to talk about this with you guys. Like, this is my first time ever getting like vulnerable about that part of my life on social media or video, anything, talking about it.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah, when people used to ask me like, "Oh, like, have you ever dealt with an eating disorder?" I'd be like, anyways. Yeah, like I just never wanted to.
I'm proud of you. That's really awesome. Like, that's some.
But like, as much as I want this podcast to be like a safe space for people to call into, like I also want it to be a safe space for me and like enforce more of that safe space for you guys. And I feel like that includes like getting into the like scary stuff that we don't want to talk about. Things that's uncomfortable that, like, to talk about. Yeah.
Content that like triggers me is some of like the best stuff that I've watched. Not in like a.
No, I know what
you know what I'm saying. Like it makes me really think, and
But I feel like we got a lot of really good points across in this video, and I feel like if there's one thing to take from this, it would be social media is not real. Don't compare yourself. You only have one body. Nurture it, love yourself, and pretend like you woke up in a new body.
And we love your tiger stripe stretch marks.
Yes.
Girl. And put on your red lipstick, bitch.
Put on your red lipstick and go tell yourself you're beautiful.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for listening or watching. And that is the end of this podcast. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Yay.